Hello, it's Minal. I will explain how simply the Open Elevator platform works. If you have any questions, please reach out via email at support@openelevator.com, set up a demo on our site, or connect with me, Minal Joshi Yakli, directly on LinkedIn. I will start with why we have built this platform, followed by how it works. Please remember that you can pause any screen in this presentation if you wish to read the details. Now, starting from the big picture, only 15% of employees around the world are engaged. Engagement is the emotional attachment people feel towards their work, and it relates directly to how much effort they put in. While the lack of engagement impacts all aspects of business, from customer service to your bottom line, one area where you see it easily is in your employee turnover. Low employee engagement leads to high employee turnover. The average company turnover is 13%. And no matter the size of your company, recruiting, hiring, training new employees is costly. According to Gallup, who has been studying employee engagement for decades, employees are more likely to be engaged if their basic human needs are met. These include the need for connection, growth, contribution, and safety. Google confirmed this with Project Aristotle, studying 180 teams to uncover the top traits that successful teams share. Ranked most important for employee engagement and team success is the need for connection, showing up as satisfaction with the manager at work. Dissatisfaction with the boss is the number one reason people leave their jobs. Actually, it is 80% of the time the reason people leave. If you get the relationship with the immediate supervisor right, people have a sense of connection, and connection is necessary for safety and the foundation for purpose. On the Open Elevator platform, we conduct a two-sided assessment so that you will get a compatibility ranking and a compatibility score with the manager. Now, in case you're wondering if measuring compatibility is possible and if the results are meaningful, consider this. When dating sites use similar algorithms, the divorce rate drops like a rock from above 50% to below 4%. Imagine what this can do for you in your business. No more useless one-sided assessments, perfect interview questions, guesswork, or gut feel needed to figure out if someone has the right attitude to join your team. For existing teams, this can help you understand who works best together to increase the quality of collaboration, including across functions and geographies. And it can give you an early indication of which team members are disengaged and at high risk of leaving, so you can take appropriate action. In addition to connection, which is the most important driver of engagement, we have the following needs. The need for growth and significance, which shows up as ample opportunity in the workplace. This is the second biggest reason people are dissatisfied and leave their jobs. Yes, defining a growth path for your people is important. Next is the need for contribution and purpose. Important to make sure that the organization, or at least the department in your circle of influence, walks the talk. And finally, there's the need for safety and certainty, which is as simple as making sure that people know their roles and goals, what is expected of them, to managing in much more volatile circumstances such as restructuring and layoff environments. on the Open Elevator platform, we provide you with the values alignment with the organization. When people's values are met, they are far more committed to work to deliver towards the common goal. This can help you bring on people who are aligned with the values that you deliver. And for your existing team, learn which values are most important to each team member and where there is a gap. Deliver incentives which are long-term engagement drivers and reevaluate programs which don't do anything for the long-term engagement of your team. While you know that low engagement and high turnover is costly, there is also great news. The great news is that on the other side of the spectrum, companies with high employee engagement have 147% earnings per share higher results compared to their competition. So this is good for your bottom line and quality of life. So now that I've given you the why, I'd like to walk you through the how. Let's go to the website. Here we are on the Open Elevator homepage. We've kept it simple and straightforward for you with the goal to add value. As we scroll to the middle of the page, you'll see that we offer 3 options. The first is if you need a full talent selection assessment. The second is in the case where you already have your top candidates identified. And the third is if you need to do an assessment for your team. Option number 1 is for the case when you are hiring and need to do a full assessment comparing technical as well as interpersonal fit. In this option, you will need to create a company profile, define the position, including asking your position-specific questions, and finally, you will need to publish this position and advertise it in all of the usual places, including job boards and your own website where you normally recruit. Option number 2 is for the case when you have already identified your top candidates. And in this case, the process includes capturing the manager's profile, inviting those top candidates via email, and comparing the results once the candidates have completed their strengths profile. Option number 3 is when you would like to optimize the collaboration in your existing team. This option number 3 is also a good place to understand how well and the meaning behind the values that we deliver. Clicking on any of these 3 options takes you to the sign up page. Here, you will find the pricing in your local currency. And when you register with this short form, you will immediately receive a coupon to use in your hiring process for option number 1. I will now log into an existing account. When you log in, you will see the 3 options: the Assess Technical Interpersonal Fit, Assess Interpersonal Fit, and Assess Team Interpersonal Fit. You will also have the possibility to change and add your logo here. Now, we recommend that you start with the 3rd option. Why the 3rd? Well, because when you see how accurately the team results confirm your experience, this will give you confidence with the results of assessing candidates. If you reach out to us, we'll give you a free gift to use for assessing your team for for up to 5 members. Now I'm going to walk you through each of the 3 processes. I will minimize this chat box. For the team interpersonal fit, you only need to either select or add the manager you wish to do the assessment with. Adding somebody is as fast as entering their name and their email address and clicking send. You are required to add a manager. You can also choose to add up to 3 colleagues that can support you in this process. These people will be able to see the result and consult you in managing the team. You can also have a pull-down option to select your colleagues if they are already on the system, or again, with the same, similar to this form right above here, where you add a manager, you can click here and add your support users. Let's, for example, add John Doe, which is a fictitious person who we'll send an invitation to as our manager. And let's assume that we have no support users we wish to add. And let's suppose we have no support users we wish to add. We can just simply click Next. And for John Doe, we can add each member of his team. Here, you can add the email addresses. So, for example, click Next. And continue with the payment or add the coupon code if you have one. And that's all the process that is required. As far as John Doe, our manager in this case, he will be receiving an invitation, and this invitation will walk him through the process of completing his strengths profile, which should take actually no more than 5 minutes. Usually it's our experience that it actually takes less than 3. Let's, for example, add John Doe, which is a fictitious person who we'll send an invitation to as our manager. And let's assume that we have no support users we wish to add. We can just simply click Next. And for John Doe, we can add each member of his team. Here, you can add the email addresses. So, for example, click Next. and continue with the payment or add the coupon code if you have one. And that's all the process that is required. Now let's walk through the next process. In the case where you need to do an interpersonal fit assessment only for candidates that you have already identified, click on the Assess Interpersonal Fit option, enter the name of the position. So for example, if we're looking to fill a marketing position, say marketing manager, and just like the process before in the team assessment, you can add the name of the manager with the pull down, or you can add the person by inviting them. Let's say here that I am the manager and I'm hiring this person who will be reporting directly to me. It's as simple as this to move to the next process and add the email addresses of the candidates. Here you will see in red the note that support users for this position cannot be invited, and for internal candidates, please use non-company or private email addresses. Again, you only need to fill this out, and this will move you to the final add payment option, or again, if you have a coupon, you can enter this. So you see that this process is more or less the same as the team assessment. If you wish to do a full assessment, what we call the technical and interpersonal fit, of course you can start by clicking this button. And of course, as before, it steps you through the process. And here we have number one, which is you need to enter your primary information, add user access, and create job description. I want to just show you what the outcome is, just so that we are really orienting ourselves clearly, because this is the longer process. It's a bit more effort than the first two. So I will go to our positions here, the positions that are listed on our platform right now, and just take a look at any one of them. So for example, this senior mainframe engineer position that's being offered by Strongback Consulting. If I click on that, I get to the page where you see the primary information of the job description, and the questions that the employer is asking. You also see here in the right panel the information about us, about the company, and their environment, where they're located. And in fact, if you click on this icon, it will take you to the employer's website. So similarly, for you, if you're looking to do this full assessment, this is what it's going to look like for you at the end. So if I go back to the profile page where we were, this is the first time where it's necessary for you to add your logo. So for example, I'm going to go to the desktop and add this logo. Okay, let's say save. So of course you would add your logo, and it's important to have your company website that you would like for the applicants to be directed to, your About Us statement, your company or business area, core values, purpose, vision, and if you have a video about your environment that you'd like to include, of course you can do that here. And finally, if there's any photos. So this is your full profile. And then we start by adding the additional information about the specific position that you're offering. So if we click on Assess Technical Fit, we walk through step number one, which is about the position title. I'm just going to make up some information for you to see here. So it's just a test position. And it's a full-time that we're looking to hire, and let's say we are in administration and it's a fairly senior person that we're looking to hire, and our industry is aeronautics, for example. And we click next, and then we can, of course, like before, add the hiring manager by selecting from a pull down here, or if this person is not already in the platform, then you can invite them as before by clicking add a manager. So I'm going to just include myself here and move forward. For this, you can also add 3 colleagues that can support you in the hiring process. And same process, so we're going to move next. And basically, you see the full form that needs to be completed. The About Us statement that you had completed before on the profile page would automatically appear here. If you want to make any changes, you can do so. The core values, purpose and vision are also appearing here. You can also edit those. You can add a job description, what you offer, responsibilities, qualifications that you're looking for. Whichever area you leave blank is absolutely fine. It will not show a blank space. The final output will only show information where you have included some information. You can include questions here, and we recommend that you ask questions that help you reject or select the best candidates as efficiently as possible. So any requirements you might have, we think that this is a great place for you to include those. And then there's a place where you can add your reporting frequency. What this is that if you would like to get an email weekly or daily or every time that someone has sent you an application, you can receive that. You can also select if you just want support users or the hiring manager to receive this, so that not everyone in your team needs to be bombarded with messages, and yet you get notified as frequently as possible. You can, of course, always log in to check if there are new applications as well. And then here's the video that has been automatically included. Pictures, if you had any, would be here. And if this specific position is in a different location than the corporate location included before on the profile page, you can also edit this. All information can be edited except for the hiring manager and the questions after publishing. So once you have published this position, the hiring manager and the questions are no longer able to be edited. You can preview what you have included. So for example, in our test position, you see that we have actually included very little information except for the information that was contained in the About Us page. You can go back to this position, which is the test position here, and you can continue to further edit, or you can publish it. And of course, it takes you to the payment process unless you have a coupon code that you have included, which can be included here. You will receive the minute you publish your position, you will immediately receive a link to where the position is published. So for example, this position's URL is right here. Right here. Now that we've looked at the process to do the assessment, let's look at what the results look like. Starting with the team assessment, here you will see in our Teams folder the results. You can use this pull down to select the different managers. and in fact invite additional team members if you have people that come to the team at a later time. You can download this information into an Excel, and here is what you get. So you get this matrix information, and you can sort it by the ranking, and next to the ranking you also get a compatibility score, so you can see who's ranked to have the easiest cooperation and where there's a bit more friction. And you can look across at the whole team to see if there is more alignment and possibility for better collaboration pairs that you can identify. For the values alignment, you also see where people are most satisfied with what is being offered and what is delivered in the organization for what each person values, and where there might be gaps. You can look to see what are some programs that you're offering. So for example, if you have a paid education program, but this is not something that's being utilized or valued by much of the organization, then you might want to consider if this is something that continues to make sense for you to offer. And where there are places perhaps where you see that there is a need for more meaningful work, maybe there is a possibility that you can think about offering different attributes to each person's position, and use this as a baseline for discussing future development with each person. So if you look at this compatibility and values, and it really resonates with you, the result that we have given you versus your own experience, then you can gauge what this data can help you do most, which is bring on new team members. So for the hiring process, you get, for the full assessment, not only the person's names, the compatibility, the values, their general information about each candidate, their career level, the number of years they've been in a particular function, but also answers to your questions. So for example, for this position, we have asked 2 questions out of 5 that are possible. These are the answers that they have given us. Now, what we can do is an advanced sort based on what we feel are the most important criteria. So for perhaps we want to see compatibility, and then after that, answers to question number 1, and ascending or descending, whatever makes sense for you. And we can sort by who is the best candidate. And of course, we would like to then see if we can look at this person's resume. We can move this person into our interview bucket or shortlist or reject button. And we can go across and do that with each person. So you see here, for example, these 2 people at the bottom have been put already in the reject folder. And we can review them still if we like. We can upload or send then this resume to our coworkers to also review. And basically people who we are clear that we would like to not move to the next round, we can actually send an email to that person immediately from here. So we have this templates to reject. We can select the person, and we can take an action by actually immediately sending the person an email regarding the fact that we appreciate their candidacy, but would like to move forward with other candidates. And so basically this is what we offer. You can look at these numbers to understand how important this is for you based on your understanding of the result you get in your own team, which confirms what you already feel works for you. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We're really happy to support you to get your best, most optimized team together. Thank you for listening.